Big up, everybody. It's your girl, Sophie Soph, back here on Sophia's Football Talk to do another game day review as we talk about the very epic game between Chelsea and Man City, which ended in 2-0 to Man City, a goal by Erling Braut Haaland in the 17th minute, and an assist by Bernardo Silva, while the dagger second goal came from former Chelsea player who didn't celebrate it. Hey, rightfully so, I get it. Kovacic literally did it all by himself in the 84th minute, and the game was kind of game over at that point. But Chelsea, they did have opportunities. Don't get it twisted. They did have some chances, but they just weren't able to nip those chances at the end of the bud. But hey, we will talk about that and more. But before we fully talk about and dissect the game, I should say, make sure that you, of course, give this video here a big thumbs up because the more likes we get, the more we're able to push the video out there for new people to see. I'd subscribe as well again to Sophia's Football Talk. We're literally right now, I believe we are less than, if my math is correctly, we are like about 60 less 60 subscribers away from 3K. So help us sister out, okay? And of course, feel free to join the SFT membership. Link is in the description box, as well as the link for my FBL league, where you have the chance of winning a football kit of your choice. Link is in the description box, like I said. Big up Ed, hope you're doing well. Says, today reminded me of their FA Cup semi. Chelsea never looked out of the depth, always a threat, but the final pass, the finish was off. That's the thing. Also, I do think that their defense, I mean, especially the goalkeeper, got very much exposed today. Um, Sanchez, he ain't it. Robert Sanchez is not it. I thought Petrovic last season was better than Sanchez. So the fact that they've like decided to go with the Sanchez doesn't really make sense to me. And they have gotten themselves, was it Philip Jurgensen, I believe? I think it might be a goalkeeper from Villarreal or another Spanish team, but they do have options, but they still, you know, regardless, persist on staying with the Sanchez, who just, he ain't it. He ain't it at all. Big up Nick says City are looking good. Chelsea were not that bad. Yeah, I'm not. The thing is, though, Chelsea had opportunities, but I still felt like City was going to get it. You know, they probably was going to win regardless. But the thing with Chelsea is, I'm letting you know, I'm still letting y'all know, okay? Action or no, no, no. Let me rewind. No action, Jackson. He ain't good. Nicholas Jackson, I'm sorry, he's not good. To those of you think he is, that's on you, but he ain't good. He ain't good. He is not good. And also, do I even need to talk about Enzo? Because Enzo Fernandez, average. And I agree with you. Ed says here, I need to understand the thinking behind making Enzo captain. The fact that they made him, okay, one thing, vice captain. Bad enough. And now I know Reece James is, of course, injured, but having him being the captain, now I think they're doing too much PR. It's too much now. It's too much now. It is way too much. And the having him, I don't know if he was the one on the match day, squad lineup picture. Like, it's just, I think Chelsea now, I feel like he just got a slap on the wrist after that whole, incident after the Copa America. And of course, he wasn't the only one, but you were the one that decided to live stream that to for whole the world to see. So sorry, you have to, you kind of have to take that one. And I just felt like it's a bit tone deaf making him then the captain. And it's a bit ironic when right before the ref blows the whistle for the game to start, you have of course the players taking the knee because of no room for racism campaign, and it's like, a little ironic and very much tone deaf. But yeah, I'm just saying Doesn't make sense to me. But then again, we've seen how a lot of clubs be, working on and treating racist um, issues. So it's a bit sad that we haven't come a long way even in 2024, but hey, I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised. Enzo said, and speaking on Enzo, he was non existent. Yeah, if we take away that side of it, him as a human being, as a footballer today, non existent, he's just not good. I'm sorry to break it to y'all, to those of you who are Enzo stands. He ain't good. He's not. He's just not. So, yeah. Lavi, I think, did his thing. And Cole Palmer, there was so many times Cole Palmer was putting like great passes on a silver platter for the likes of, you know, Nicholas Jackson, and he probably should have had a hat trick today with some of the chances that he got himself. Okay, literally, real talk. But Man City, they did deserve to win. I also Doku is one that I want to mention as well because I think Doku, I've been saying I actually really like Doku, but he has to work on his decision making because there were a bunch of times in transition where he should have given a proper pass to a Holland. Holland probably should have had a hat trick today. If he just would have given the one smart pass, Holland would have scored. Another one, Holland would have scored. But Holland did score. He's now at 91 goals in the Premier League after 100 appearances for Man City. That's insane. That's insane. I mean, wow. He's now what 9 goals away from getting into that 100 goals list. He's not that far off. I mean, I believe. Let me double check. What's the next few games for Man City? Next is Ipswich. Yeah, they're he might get three hat trick then. And then it's West Ham, Brentford, Arsenal, Newcastle. Like within all of those games, he might actually be able to break it. I ain't gonna hold you. He could. He really could, to be fair. So, but yeah, I think definitely like by like early October max, I think he would have broken um that record. But it depends on when the international break will be. I believe that might be early. It might be mid September, late September. Either way, I think he will. That's our that are the next games for Man City. Keep getting the likes up, by the way, people. It says here Chelsea fans spent Enzo's first season saying he's an 8, not a 6. Spent last season saying he's a 10, not an 8. Now he's a 10 and done nothing. I wonder what the excuse will be. Exactly. What more type of excuse do y'all need to have? You know? What else? Because can't we just be honest and say he's just not it? You've tried him in different areas, still doesn't show up. At the end of last season, y'all were starting to cook. You know why? That was basically because Caicedo was there in that midfield. You also had a Cucurella inverting. Cucurella also do need to talk about because I do like Cucurella, but Lord have mercy, I think he definitely jinxed himself with the whole Haaland, um, you know, song that he had. Haaland es trembla. Cucurella, eats paella. Stop it. That is one of the most cringiest things. When you be getting like secondhand embarrassment. I used to get that a lot when I was younger, but sometimes I do. And whenever I see that video, I have to skip past it because I get embarrassed on his behalf when he be making that song because that is horrendous. And Hornan still dunked on you. Okay, he just pushed you like, oh, who's this little kid here? Get out of here. That goal from Horlan was incredible, wonderful, proper striker's goal. And this is why, like, when people were trying to like last season, because it wasn't maybe as he still scored a lot of goals and he still became the top goal scorer in the Prem last season. But compared to his debut season, of course, it was different. And I think sometimes there were like a little spell where he didn't score many goals. Um, and people were kind of on his back and say, like, yeah, but as an overall football player, he's not good. He should da da da. And I'm like, he's a good player. As maybe not, let's be honest, as like the nines that I've seen throughout my years, if we talk about the overall football player, he ain't the best. Definitely not. But if we talk about as a finisher, just being an out and out proper finisher, scoring goals, I do think he's definitely up there by being one of the best for sure. And he's still very young, 24 years old. Okay? He still has several years ahead of him. And yeah, nah, I think he's amazing. And it's it is what it is. All I need is just annoying that he plays for Man City, but I just need him to show up for Norway, as he has. But continue. Just help Norway alongside of Martin Ødegaard. We need to get proper manager, some proper defenders, and then we see you World Cup 2026. We shall be there. But yeah, that I mean, with Man City, also Ederson, I felt like there were moments where he got a little bit exposed and caught. But luckily, he saved himself. But it was actually a goal that was offside by Nicholas Jackson. Surprise. And Ederson definitely had a howler, but lucky for him, it wasn't offside. Therefore, the goal was disallowed. But he had some few moments like that where he just was being a bit reckless. And yeah, I think maybe against other teams that really can finish properly, they can be punished. So that's something that they need to work on. But big up, by the way, to Savio. I thought he was really good in the first half. Unfortunately, had to get subbed off by halftime as he had a knock. And obviously, we already know Oscar Bob is out. But they did bring in Phil Foden. I think De Bruyne was all right at the beginning, but it kind of was a bit like at the more so around second half, non-existent. I thought Bernardo Silva had a good game for sure. So yeah, Ed says, can we acknowledge how crazy it is in 2024? We're watching Pep play with traditional wingers in a target man. Exactly. While the rest of the world is still trying to emulate Pep of 5+ years ago. That's the thing. I think we need to stop trying to be copying Pep. Do what you can do. Do you. Like, I'm tired of it. But I hear what you're saying, Ed. Literally, that's basically what it's going back to. Because you see a Doku, very direct winger, and you be having a Savia as well, very direct, traditional wingers. At least those type of wingers that I've grown up with, being very quick, but can still be technical as well. Dribbling, savvy. But once again, Doku, I think, can be a wonderful threat, but he has to work on his decision making. He has to. Because you can't, it's all great and all getting into these great, wonderful positions and opportunities, but when you give what the final product is kind of trash, then what's the point? Because you also want to be effective. So you want to have both. You don't want to just have one or the other, I think. At least in my opinion. But hey, I digress. Either way, let's see. So next games for Chelsea, I believe the next one is going to be against Wolves. That's going to be away. It'll be interesting. And then they also will be having a qualification game against in the conference against Servette Geneva. They a Swiss team. Oh, we definitely will be watching that game for sure. We will be watching that game for sure. Don't you worry. Um, and I believe it's going to be 2 legs, I think. So that's going to be the first leg, and then the week after is the second leg. Oh, anyhow, oh my God. Because I'm saying, I believe Chelsea's not going to win the Conference League. I don't think they will. They're not. They're not. But anyhow, let's say they don't qualify. They don't actually get into Conference League. That'd be funny. That'd be funny. And I think I never really used to have like a big issue with Chelsea, but like the last season or two, they annoy me. Sorry, Chelsea fans. They be annoying me, so we're gonna be having agendas here. Respectfully. There will be an agenda. But the other games, like I said, so Wolves, Servette in the Conference League, and then Crystal Palace at home, Bournemouth away. Games that, in all actuality, they should be winning, but you never know. That's the actual problem here, that you never actually know if they will be winning. So that is something that they have to, of course, see, I guess. But yeah, and there was also another game that went on earlier I wanted to mention as well, which I did watch, which was a really good game. Brentford versus Crystal Palace. So Brentford won 2-1. Um, Wonderful goal by Embuemo. Embuemo, I would not mind getting it in Embuemo at Man United. I would say yes. For the right price, hell yeah. Okay, and then Pinnock um, made it 1-1 for Crystal Palace as he scored an own goal. And then Wissa scored the winner. And it was basically more so like a Dean Henderson howler. And I also had Dean Henderson in my FBL. So, and also Flecking, but Flecking was on the bench. But it is what it is. But it was a good game. I thought it was very interesting. I mean, I think Este was a little bit selfish here and there in this game where they had opportunities, Crystal Palace, but kind of made some bad decisions. I don't know if he's just kind of basically feeling like the aftermath of Olise not being there anymore. I don't know. And they had one of their newest signings, Taichi Kamada, who unfortunately didn't really have the best of games, but I still believe that he could cook, but he just wasn't cooking today. And Benoit is underrated. I agree. Direct and creative, yes, and can finish all of it. He looked hella old, but I think it's more so the bald head that makes him look way older and like that beard. But the guy's 25 years old. So a good age. I would love at Man United. Respectfully, I think he would cook. I think so. I definitely do believe that he would deserve to get like a bigger move. So whether it be a Man United or another top six club, or maybe even like a top eight, for instance, I just, or maybe he goes overseas. I don't know, to even a bigger club than Brentford overseas. That could actually happen. But what I do know is the guy's a great player, and he would deserve it. So next games for Brentford. Ooh, it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be at Anfield against Liverpool, and then they have Colchester in the Carabao Cup. Southampton, Man City, and Spurs away. Yeah, Brentford. Damn, right, like back to back. Damn. Palace obviously didn't get to the greatest start, unfortunately, losing to Brentford, but they do have West Ham at home, Norwich in the Carabao Cup. Then they have Chelsea away, Leicester at home, and then Man United at home. And to be fair, I still remember the way they slapped us up at the business end of the season last season when they won 4-0. That hurt me, man. That game, I was so pissed. I was so pissed that game. Jeez. I still have PTSD, so, and I believe that was at their ground. So yeah, we've been kind of struggling against Palace often the last 2, 3 seasons. So yeah. But hey, we'll deal with that then and not now. That's what I think, at least. That's what I think. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, of course. But yeah, keep getting the likes up, everybody, and do indeed subscribe. Do indeed subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you haven't already, because seriously, it does help. It literally does. Okay. What do you think happens with Tony? Frank has all but admitted he's actually trying to leave. Yeah, the fact that he said, okay, obviously we like him, da 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 da. He's a great player, but we've kind of proven last season that we can win without him. That to me is very subliminal message that he's probably leaving. And I think it was Plettenberg that reported earlier today that Man United aren't really actively looking to trying to get a Tony, but you never know. I mean, I think something will happen before deadline day. We have about what 2 weeks now? Yeah, it's less than 2 weeks until the transfer window closes. So I know that there are Saudi pro leagues, club leagues that are interested in Tony, but I think it's kind of it will be interesting to see where he goes because Spurs don't need a striker. They have Solanke now. Chelsea, they're still kind of trying to actively get an Osimhen, but I don't know. Arsenal though, could they? I think if Arsenal gets him, they win the league in my opinion, 100%. So I would love to get an Ivan Tony, but I don't know if we would. It really depends on deadline day. I mean, depends on like the outgoing. So like let's say we move, sell a Jaden Sancho and then we sell McTominay. We sell. I know we also trying to sell a Facundo Pellistri, a Lindelöf, a Hannibal. Well, some of that can fund maybe two more players, but we do need midfielders ahead of that before we try to maybe get a striker at the end. But he has 1 year left with his contract, so it could if I was Brentford, I would try to have him go so you could get some money because it will be a bit mad having him and supporting him for so long and then having him go for free next season. That doesn't really make sense to me, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. Also, there's some stuff happening with the Sterling situation. So Sterling might be going as well. You never know, as he was left out of the squad for Chelsea in this game. And he I think even came out with a statement to the Daily Mail, I believe it was. Ed here, Napoli director Mana, um, basically a quote here reported from or by Rizarano. Osimhen, question mark. The situation is currently blocked. He wants to leave, but I can't give any feeling on PSG or Chelsea. We're now trying to find a solution with his camp. So obviously, Osimhen probably will be going. Now it is about will he be going to Chelsea or PSG? I believe reports for a few weeks have been kind of saying that Osimhen would prefer going to a PSG instead. But then again, I was also hearing that PSG or try to maybe get Lookman, but or that Lookman is really pushing to go to PSG. So that's something that I will talk more about on Tuesday, as Tuesdays often are kind of our weekly live transfer news show. As I said, if PSG get Osimhen, I think Chelsea go in for Tony late in the window. That could happen. The thing is, though, if they do, then they would kind of solve a lot of their issues with scoring goals because the chances that Nicholas Jackson had, 100%, I believe Ivan Tony would score. And Ivan Tony isn't just, okay, I scored the goals. I can also facilitate. I can also deliver, you know. I can also make sure that I, you know, keep my brothers fed. You know what I'm saying? By giving, assist here and there as well. So he can be that type of person. That's why like I think his link up play is very good. So I personally would have loved to have him at Man United, but if he goes to Chelsea, yeah, that would annoy me. I hope he doesn't go. I hope he doesn't go. And I don't want them to get Oshiman either. I hope they get just like a meaty guy, meaty youngster, or something like that. The fact that they got Petro Neto, even though like I was a little bit kind of scrappy today, but hey, he'll grow more and more into it, of course. But yeah, I think with today, they definitely need they have to get a forward. They have to because this Nicholas Jackson is not it. Respectfully, he's not. So they need to make sure that they get a proper forward that can score the goals, finish those chances because you can't be creating so many chances and not be able to finish them. And that's kind of what it is as well with us as well. But hey, we have to wait and see. Um, yeah, anything else that is to mention? Not really, just quick little reaction video. I will probably most likely take a break tomorrow. As Mondays, I do tend to take a break, but if there's any news break in terms of like, especially when it comes to Man United, then we'll probably go live. If not, then I already have, I mean, literally look at the channel page. You will see all of the streams already lined up, ready to go. But of course, changes can happen. But the next planned stream will be on Tuesday for a transfer news show. And then we have some Man United previews, FBL stream, and of course, the new addition to the channel, which is the game day review. I think for these future reviews, we might try to see if we can get a guest or two on from other teams so that we can discuss, because I do think that will add a little bit more of a nuance and depth to the streams so that it doesn't have to just be solo based. But we'll see. I'm gonna try to reach out to some people. But yeah, big up. The Chelsea need more goalkeepers. They already have 8. They already have 8. They need to get rid of some, literally. All of Man United's Dutch managers of the Premier League era have had a bogey team with the bird-based nickname for LVG. It was famously Swansea. Ten Hag, it's Brighton. Newcastle Palace away to an extent too. Yeah, I can hear it. The way you said all of Man United's Dutch managers, and you mentioned 2. All. Okay. All right. All right. But yeah, it is what it is. But guys, see you guys on Tuesday. Make sure you like this video on your way out. If you're watching this on the replay, then make sure, of course, that you comment your thoughts down below. Keep liking, subscribe to the channel, and indeed as well join the SFT membership. Another way to support the channel. Join the FBL league that I have going on, where you can get a chance to win a football kit of your choice. Okay? Link is in the description box, also with the code, I believe. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Peace out, everybody. Sofia out. Bye bye.